Okay, everybody welcome. I'm also going to read our mission statement like we did during COVID time. In partnership with the communities, the mission of the Dilworth-Glyndon-Felton School District is to educate individuals in an environment of trust and respect so they become self-directed, responsible, lifelong learners. All right, so we have all board members besides Laura present. We are going to make a change to the agenda. We have some public comments. And okay, so we'll put public comments under 5. Hey, Laura. Hi. Laura's joining us, and then we're going to do a brief. I believe the administrators are going to give us a brief update on stuff that's been happening this week in preparation for school beginning on September 8th. Just a reminder to all board members, speak loudly so that you can be recorded. I appreciate that. So any other changes to the agenda? All right, do we have a motion to approve?
So.
All right, motion by David. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Raleigh. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public comments. Thank you, as always, to people for submitting. We have a question from her name is April. Her question is, wondering what the distance learning daily schedule will look like versus the in-person/virtual learning. Will there be a separate dedicated teacher for the students doing full-time distance learning? Also, what if your child starts in-person/virtual and it isn't working for them? Can they change to distance learning as long as they stay distance until the end of the semester and trimester? Will the kids be eating lunch in the lunchroom or in their classrooms? Will middle and high school students be moving from room to room for each class or staying in one classroom? Thank you for your question, April. Then we had a Matt Retzer. His question is, will there be childcare for teachers with elementary age students when students are not in school during hybrid learning? So thank you for their questions. I know you guys are going to give an update tonight if something isn't addressed. For anybody that's watching this meeting, you can email your site principal and they will try to answer your questions as best as they can. So thank you for your comments. All right, so go ahead and we'll do the kind of COVID update this week. So do you guys want to come talk up here so they can get recorded? Kind of planning measures.
I'm good, you can calendar. Okay. All right, this is going to be short and sweet. Update from last week. We've done a lot more planning with site leadership teams at all grade levels. I know we met with elementary today for 2 hours. Got through some stuff. We met with our nurses, which was extremely helpful. That's been recorded and sent out to the all elementary staff at both sites. And we're meeting again tomorrow to start hashing out virtual learning. And we really talked about the difference is we need to start talking about the difference between distance learning and virtual learning. And we kind of had that conversation with our site leadership teams today. We talked about a little bit about hybrid and what the teachers want to see and what that would look like and how they want to see that done. Talked about time. And then tomorrow we're going to meet 2 hours in the morning and we're going to hit virtual learning really hard so that we can start to define that to people, because I know that's been a need in the community. Say, what's virtual learning going to look like at that elementary level? Update on PPE order. We sent a survey today asking staff, an updated survey asking staff if they want shields for their desks. We did ask earlier in the summer, but we felt it was appropriate to ask again since information has changed. So we'll be putting in another order for shields for the desks in the next few days. We talked a little bit about masks, some extra masks. We talked a lot about transportation and what kind of the protocol is for transportation, and got some updated stuff from Tammy for the cleaning protocol. And Lindsay, do you want me to address any of those questions as in here, or are we okay?
No, I mean, if you have some answers to them.
Can I see them real quick?
Yeah.
Just so we have it on record.
Yeah. And you might not have the answers. I know you're
Yep.
still working through transportation issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are really discussing, and I can speak for the elementary level, and Wayne, if you want to speak at all for the high school, just let me know. Right now, our site leadership teams are looking at what it's going to look like, hybrid, who's going to teach it, how we're going to keep track of that, what the days and times are going to look like. And then, like I had said, the distance learning piece and the virtual piece. So our teachers and our site leadership teams are working on that right now. The change, can they change to distance learning as long as they stay distance until the end of the semester or trimester? We really want to stick to that semester or trimester for all across the board. We do understand that as admin, there will be cases that have come up, but it'll be one of those things that we'll talk about with families. Lunchroom, I know we talked, Wayne and I at this site talked on Thursday regarding our lunches. We've got a plan. I will be able to fit 2 grade levels plus half another class into our lunchroom at a time. With that, that'll be less than 100 kids. Our lunchroom, our cafeteria here is at 134 capacity at 50%. So we've marked it out. We should be good with that. High school will be going through the line, but they will be eating in the elementary gym. So we have tables and chairs for the high school to be eating in the elementary gym. And I know that Joe and Heidi have given updates on their lunchroom in prior meetings. And then middle and high school students be moving from room to room for each class. That would be something that I do not know the answer to. Childcare, we are not doing childcare. We're not in distance learning, so we're not mandated to do childcare at this time. Right. Any questions from the board regarding any COVID updates?
Just wondering how is it going with, I don't know, last week there was 400 students that hadn't been surveyed. How is that going with getting that data to continue moving forward? Our
secretaries have been amazing getting that data, calling families. I know they split up the ones that were left from when they were working on it to now. I have not looked at it yet, but I know there is a lot of more information that's been gathered.
I would say Lindsay's probably about 100.
Yep.
100 lot, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Lot last week. Better than we were last year.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yep.
Any other questions?
And Eileen is rocking it with transportation. I know there's a lot riding on it, but her and her crew are doing a really good job, and Tracy's doing a really good job with kind of keeping us in the loop with that so she can keep working. So it's good. We've got this.
So since the high school kids are going to be eating in the elementary gym, there's no gym for elementary?
We are super lucky that we have thank you for asking, we have a schedule where our specialists eat lunch and they have their prep all in that one block. So they have 50, 60, 70, 80 minutes where the gym is free. So we'll be able to get the high school kids in 2 different shifts in and out of there,
Okay.
and then get it cleaned. Yep.
So
They will still have gym. Absolutely. Good question. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so
We're
much
good?
for the update.
Okay, you're
And
welcome.
I'm sure there'll be more next week. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
We appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to 5.1, resolution related to the Oh, yeah.
I can give you something too.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. He was being so quiet back there. I thought he didn't have
That's
it.
polite, being polite. So as of today or this afternoon, we have dates and times for freshman orientation and new students. That'll be next week on Wednesday, Thursday, from 4 till 8. And we're scheduling up to 3 groups of 10 per hour during that time. It'll be Mr. Wisco and myself doing some presentations. And then NHS students will be helping give tours to groups of 10 or less on next Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, next week. So regarding high school scheduling and virtual learning, hybrid learning, if it's going to be essentially all the same. If you're hybrid, if you're on site, you're on site. If you're in that same class virtually, you're watching that class from home. If you're just a virtual student that has chosen to do that for the time being, you're still in those classes that you registered for, but you're doing it virtually, just not coming on site. And we're saying per grading period, which would be the semester for us. And elementary, middle school, I think, is trimesters.
Yes.
Site team tomorrow is meeting with me to go through different questions, comments, concerns from staff regarding starting of school, mostly about health concerns, COVID types of things. Our nurses met with our site team last week and I think helped put them at ease quite a bit, about an hour meeting, reviewing things. So we'll do that eventually with the whole faculty in the high school. And then I'm going to use them as kind of my backup, final backup. We're going to go through every classroom and remeasure again how many kids can we have in each classroom, because that's going to determine, after we get the bus routes, how many kids we can have in the classroom at a time, and if we can actually use those rooms or not, based on the enrollment in those courses. And then if not, find another place or another flip-flop classrooms, that kind of thing by period. So starting tomorrow, we can start making 2 master schedules, one for a Monday, Tuesday group and one for a Thursday, Friday. We should be ready to go by next week.
Is the high school looking at moving teachers around, leaving the kids in the same groups, or not?
No, we can't do that. They'll have to move. And one idea I'm pondering, I'll have to walk it through tomorrow a little bit, is traffic flow, if we can do it as much as we can one direction, rather than crossing like this, like on a sidewalk.
So the 50% capacity constraint, that only applies if you're doing hybrid, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure that you got that clear in your mind. Thank you.
And I have a question. David had forwarded us the COVID numbers in our county. I just kind of looked at it today. They haven't updated it. As of right now, we are under that. So if those numbers continue to drop, are we looking at all the, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for everyone, and Wednesday the deep cleaning day? I mean, because if we can get our kids in class more, I say we get them in class more.
That would be the idea for, I know, secondary for sure.
Don't we still have a 50% limit though from the governor, no matter what our thing is, or isn't that there anymore?
No, I think that goes away.
It's not for all on site.
Yeah.
I know, I know we had some administrative conversation regarding that, and again, I don't think we've made a decision, but we've talked about keeping it status quo for right now, just because now we've rolled the plan out. We've got that to the parents, to the people that have to do the logistic piece. I think we said, and Marianne, were you a part of the conversation as well? And Joe, I think we said for the first month, I think we're going to stay
with
where
the
we are.
hybrid.
And I think they
Plan,
said that because that way, if the numbers, once we get back to school, if numbers should jump up again, then we're not changing the plan again. If we could get started this way, get everything going for middle school and high school with the hybrid model, and then if numbers do stay low and below that 10, then after September, then we'd look at the 4 days and keeping that Wednesday for deep cleaning. And then at some point, we'd probably look at going out 5 days if numbers are staying low.
It was exciting news to hear that 8 point whatever it was this morning.
So if we don't have a 50% rule, do we still have to do the 6-foot distancing, or what's the limit on the classroom?
It's as feasible. In the executive order, or the stay safe, it's as feasible. So it reads,
No limits though?
there are no limits.
You could have 100%, you could have them close.
Yeah, but we're absolutely,
Right.
we're putting every
Face mask.
shield up in face mask. But so that's, it doesn't, so when we get to the hybrid piece, it says 50% capacity and the 6 feet has to be spread. So that's why we'd go 2 days at elementary as well.
They're just in a hybrid, but if they could come in class and there's really no limit to
There isn't,
Other than the mask.
other than the
Yep.
masks, yep.
what the number of
Or
kids.
50, right?
Or a face.
Yeah.
Say I talk about freshman orientation, new students, let's see, workshop weeks would be the 31st, 1st and 2nd in the calendar plan when you start talking about that. That week we would have scheduled times for anyone else to come in and in small groups to check out the school and meet their teachers, those kind of things.
And that's why I'm back up here, because I forgot. Not to have your back. I forgot two things for elementary. Kindergarten, we're gonna keep kindergarten the same. We're not gonna change anything with our kindergarten orientation days. So that'll be taken care of, and that's already taken care of. Our secretaries at both elementaries have been calling to make sure we've got everybody signed up for that. And then we talked about back to school night and made a decision regarding that this morning as well. Site leadership team, we're gonna have, if the calendar's approved, the way we're gonna present it tonight, we'll have September 1st, so it's that Tuesday for back to school night. We will still do the 4 to 6:30, and we'll have five different presentations from the teachers, where we'll have 5 kids and 5 grown-ups. So 1 grown-up per kid come in and get that presentation. We should be able to take care of all of back to school night within that time. And then with our EL and special ed, they would make special appointments to meet with their teachers and their special ed and their case manager for EL. So we've got everybody included.
Perfect, thank
Okay,
you.
I think I'm done now.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm gonna keep us moving along. So we have a class at 6 here, so we have about 14 minutes here. So we're gonna move on to 5.1, resolution relating to the election of school board members, and we'll be calling the school district general election. So Amy, can go ahead and read the resolution, please.
Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 2164 as follows. It is necessary for the school district to hold its general election for the purpose of electing 4 school board members for terms of 4 years. Following individuals have filed affidavits for candidacy for said election during the period established for filing such affidavits: Jenna Wilm, Lindsay Leach, Amy Johnson, Carol Nelson, Brittany Keel, Nicole Reno, Elizabeth Martin. The combined general election is hereby called and directed to be held on Tuesday, the 3rd of November 2020, between the hours of 7 o'clock a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m. And all precincts except the townships of Morgan and Spring Prairie, they have established hours from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. and in conjunction with other statewide elections. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 205.8.11, the school district's voting precincts and polling places for school elections held on the day of a combined statewide election will be those precincts established and designated by the city and township clerks of which the school district is located and on file in the office of the superintendent are hereby designated for said general election. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause written notice of said combined general election to be provided to the county auditor of each county in which the school district is located, in whole or in part, at least 45 days before the date of said election. The notice shall include the date of said election and the office or offices to be voted on at said election. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause notice of said combined general election to be posted at the administrative offices of the school district and at each polling place at least 10 days before this date of said election. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause a sample ballot to be posted at the administrative offices of the school district at least 4 days before the date of said combined general election, and to cause a sample ballot to be posted in each polling place on election day. The sample ballot shall not be printed on the same color paper as the official ballot. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause notice of said combined general election to be published in the official newspaper of the district for 2 consecutive weeks, with the last publication being at least 1 week before the date of said election. The notice of combined general election so posted and published shall state the offices to be filled and shall include information concerning each established precinct and polling place. The clerk is authorized and directed to secure all necessary optical scan materials and the equipment necessary to properly conduct this combined general election according to Minnesota statutes. The clerk is further authorized and directed to provide accurate information to the county auditor for the preparation of optical scan ballots for this combined general election. The state of individuals as designated by resolution of the city councils and township clerks and on file in the office of the superintendent, each of whom is qualified to serve as an election judge, are hereby appointed as judges of the combined general election to act as the respective polling places in 4 respective precincts. The election judges shall act as clerks of election, count the ballots cast, and submit them to the school board from campus in the manner provided for other combined general elections.
Thank you, Amy. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ronnie, any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote. Laura? Aye. David?
Aye.
Amy? Aye. Myself, aye. Sandy?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. 5.2, policy 808, COVID-19 face covering policy. This is the first reading. There'll be a second reading next week. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I think Amy got it first. Second?
Second.
Second by Raleigh. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. 5.3, updated 2020-2021 school calendar. We'll go ahead and get a motion and then I'll let you discuss. Do you have a motion? Motion by David, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Laura. All right, Mary Ann Martin is going to give us a report on the school calendar, please.
Okay, with the updated calendar, you'll see some differences with the coloring, but I just kind of wanted to try to touch on each of the points. Instructional days on the original calendar was 167. We're now moving the instructional days to 165, so it is 2 less instructional days for students. And the 165 is the minimum amount of instructional days. So we have to have at least 165 instructional days. So that's why we were able to go back on 2 of those. And then the non-instructional days is still 2. There's still 4 workshop days. We have the workshop days August 31st, September 1st, September 2nd. Those are our back to school workshop. And then our other workshop day is January 18th. And then it's teacher contracted days with those numbers is 171, but according to the teacher contract, it's 180 days. And so then we're, instead of doing 5 flexible days with 2 mandatory days at the end of the school year, we're doing 7 flexible days with 2 mandatory days at the end of the school year. And those flexible days, some people have already been doing some of their flexible time with their professional development, especially in the elementary with the new math curriculum. I know a lot of special ed teachers have been meeting for PLCs and other teachers have been as well. And they can use that time from the summer all the way to the end of next school year, and at the end of next school year during May, they can use that time. We are making 2 days mandatory at the end of the school year, and that will be for grading, and then anybody who has to box up their rooms, because we have all of Glyndon-Felton elementary teachers who will be moving to the other site, and so they'll have to box some stuff up, and then if there's anybody in the high school who has to, just because of remodeling, box anything up and finish up grades. And then the middle school teachers, they're all going to be moving over here, so they'll have a lot of work to do. So that's why we're saying 2 mandatory days. And then on the original calendar, March 4th was supposed to be a day off, and we've added that as one of our instructional days. So that's where we got a day. And then you can also see November 25th and December 23rd. Those were also days off. And those are our distance learning days where students aren't in the building. So we'll continue to not have the students in the building that day, but they will have, like the half a day like they will be doing with instructional, and then the other half teachers will have to put in that time, but they'll be able to do that virtually like they would be on the other Wednesdays. And we thought that that would be a good mix, then it still counts as a full student contact day.
I noticed we only have 1 storm makeup day though.
Yep, because we'll be able to do distance learning for our storm days, so we won't have to count any storm days because we have that in our COVID plan.
Okay.
And then, and then the last student day is May 18th for everyone except for seniors. And the exception is that seniors do not have to have 165 days. That's an exception. And so seniors will be done on May 14th, and we will have graduation on May 16th. And then K through 11th graders will come back for the 17th and 18th of May.
Anybody have any questions for Mary Ann?
So for if there's a snow day and for elementary kids that don't have like Chromebooks.
Well, they'll probably have like a storm day or
Yeah,
like
we'll
a packet of something.
We'll have a storm day packet and those kind of things ready.
Okay, like just to keep it home for.
That's what I'm guessing. They'll have to
Yep.
be kept at home because in the
Yep,
morning.
absolutely. And our teachers are pros at it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you, Mary Ann. All right, so we have a motion by David, a second by Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. 6.0, next board meeting is Monday, August 24th, 2020 at 6 p.m. in the DGF High School Media Center. And please adjourn. 5.